Hello, everyone. It is Misha Green, DC editor, and I am super excited to be chatting with the amazingly talented, multifaceted artist herself, Miss Skye Townsend. We have so much to talk about. I guess I'm ready to jump right on in. But y'all know the deal. Before we can get into the nitty gritty, I have to share the live just so that the people know that we're busy and up to something. So you guys do the same. Remember, sharing is caring, and then we will be good to go. Okay, I think I'm all shared. That was fast.
All right.
All righty. Skye, first of all, how are you doing? We're still in the middle of a pandemic. What is life for you?
Life is crazy. I've been doing interviews today for 7 hours, so this is my last one. But I'm really excited for this one. So I'm high energy. But yeah, still pandemic, and I'm still taking it very serious. So I haven't been having the most fun. But at the end of the day, I've been blessed to be working during all of it. I can say that.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I guess tell all the folks what you got going on. You have, congratulations, first of all, on a Black Lady sketch show. That's so incredibly exciting. You have all these characters. Is it like more than 20?
25.
25 characters. And I know that you have like put in crazy detail and character background stories for every single one. So tell us first of all about a Black Lady sketch show for those who don't know, and how you are on and have joined this amazing cast, and then what you're up to on this show.
Yeah, so a Black Lady sketch show is created by Robin Thede, produced by Issa Rae on HBO and HBO Max. And basically, I joined the second season. Season 1 came in with, I believe, three Emmy nominations. And I'm like, I'm not even speaking English. So 3 Emmy nominations, they killed it. And then I joined the second season along with Lacey Mosley. And honestly, it's basically Black women existing in a magical reality. It's kind of what happens in our imagination. It's a break from all of the things going on in the world. It's a break from trauma and craziness. And you kind of just get to see Black women having a really great time. And the most painful thing is probably somebody stubbing their toe, or, like we give you a break from all the chaos. So I get to come on and play 25 different characters this season. And it's quirky, it's strange, it's unique, and shows all the multifaceted sides of Black women, which I really appreciate.
I think that's so cool. And I think it's really important that you mentioned that, forget about the trauma and sort of the things that we obviously experience and is very, very prevalent to the Black experience, but to see the joy, to see the fun and all of the quirks, I think is so incredibly refreshing, particularly where we are today. So I gotta ask, because a lot of people don't know the biz and how things work out and things like that. How long were you sort of in the grind to get to this role in a Black Lady sketch show?
So we're gonna do a little math real quick, okay? We're gonna drop some numbers because I need people to understand how this goes, right? So I started posting videos impersonating Beyonce, which kind of got me in the door when I was about 14, 15. I'm now 27, turning 28. So when people are like, I've been watching you for years, hold up, I was in high school and now I'm married with kids. I'm like, exactly. Yeah. So with that being said, it's been years of hustling. It took actively auditioning 10 years for me to book my first big part. And I always say, I think I'm a mix between being a dreamer and delusional, because I don't know what kept me going, because I wasn't booking. But it's funny because if it has your name on it, it does. And this type of a show is something that I really was able to walk in my power and say, I believe I'm a fit here and I know what to do with this material.
Definitely. And I mean, I think that's the really cool thing, is because people have been watching you and seeing you bring these fun people to life, some that we know, like Beyonce, and others that you've created. And so it seems like the perfect fit. And again, I'm just so excited for you. Congratulations. So, nepotism is a thing. And I think it's really important that you mentioned that, for those that don't know, I know y'all see the last name. Robert Townsend is Skye's daddy.
Allegedly. sure, but
Yes, but you put in that work, and I think it's so important. But I saw your dad's post, who is a friend of the Afro as well. We've had an opportunity to interview him a couple times.
Yeah.
When you booked the gig, and he was so incredibly proud. Tell us about growing up as a daughter, as a child of an artist, and then still having to put in your work and your grind, and a little bit of his reaction in booking this.
Wow. It was a conscious decision for me to not have him involved in my career until I made my own way. I always say I'm the most anti-celebrity kid. I just hate that world. I hate the, throw me in the fire and put me exactly where I want to be without the right experience. I think it's unfair to the people who are hustling beside us. So I really wanted to earn my spot. And so I told him, I was like, don't help me. Don't set up a meeting. Don't do any of that. And now that I've gotten to a place where I did it on my own, he's just in awe, because he goes, I wanted my kids to have that hustle gene despite not being where I'm from. My dad's from Chicago, grew up in the really rough streets, and he's like, I wanted you guys to have a better life, but I wanted you to understand hard work, and I wanted you to understand, really hustling for something. So at this moment, he watches every episode with me. He's sitting there on the couch like, oh, what's next? I'm like, can you just let it happen? But I say it all the time. I look at his career, and I'm not only blown away by the work, but I'm blown away by his reputation. Every person that I meet, whether it's on set or in the world, is like, what a great guy. And I think beyond, what we do in this life, how you treat people is important. It's like, you could be nice on camera, but when people really meet you, what is your energy? And he is a really fantastic person above all. So.
Well, I have to say you are too, Skye. Every sort of interaction, however small it's been, you have just brought so much joy and realness. And so obviously the apple doesn't fall far from the tree at all. So I have to know, how is it working with this powerhouse group of just like funny, amazing Black women?
It's so amazing that everyone is so different, but we all mesh. I think I look around the room when I'm with my cast members, and, I always say, Robin is such an alpha. She knows what she wants. She knows where she wants it. She'll call the shots. Gabrielle is such a thespian. It's like the script is so powerful, and, she'll take her time to study when we're all eating donuts. And then Lacey's this wild party girl who's in the splits in the corner, and we're like, girl, what? Why? And then Ashley is this very intelligent, knows every fun fact in the world. You could just tell she studied. She loves plays. She loves musicals. She loves theater. And then there's me, who's kind of like the weird little sister who's like, look at this, guys. And they're like, good job. So it's really funny, because I think we all represent different sides of Black women. And in Hollywood, it's easy to be typecasted. It's easy to be the sassy girl who does this, or the auntie who says, oh, hell no, or whatever it is. So I think for us to all be able to exist in these spaces is amazing. Like, I got to come in and be quirky, and they didn't question that, or they didn't say it doesn't feel Black enough. They said, well, you a Black woman is Black. That's it, So it's amazing to look around the room, and we're all so different.
And what are you learning from this opportunity?
Nobody has asked me that. Oh my gosh, what am I learning? Okay, I'm gonna say what I learned when I booked it and what I learned when I shot it. When I booked it, I learned that a win is not any less sweet if you have to celebrate it by yourself. I didn't have anybody there, and nobody was answering the phone when I got the call. And I wanted to share it so bad. Like, why is no one answering me? I was in the middle of the grocery store sobbing. Strangers are like, I hope she's okay. I'm like, no, you don't understand. And in that moment, I had to stop calling people and go, it happened. You did it. It's okay. You don't have to share this. Celebrate it quietly. And even as I filmed, I wasn't allowed to say I was on the show. So I had to humble myself and be like, girl, shut up and do the work. But on set, what I learned was, Robin said something to me that really stuck with me. And I think every artist should hear it. When you're really tired and you're creating, being tired is temporary, but the work is permanent. So I was exhausted one night. We were shooting at 1 a.m., shooting the opening credits. And she's like, you're going to regret not going your hardest if you let the tired win. And I was like, okay, this work is permanent. This feeling is temporary. And so It's a lot of work that goes into it. It's long hours, and I think a lot of people don't know how much goes into creating a show. It's so much.
Absolutely, absolutely. And how much, obviously I know you're doing so much work in creating the characters and making them dynamic and fun and relatable in whatever ways. But how much creativity do you have in the, I guess, sketches themselves? Do you have any creative control in that
Yeah.
regard?
The sketches are already pre-written, and then we decide, it's a crazy process. We do a round table of auditions all day long, and we read all of the parts. So we say, okay, Skye's now Jennifer, now Ashley's Jennifer, now Robin's Jennifer. Who makes sense of Jennifer? We'll let you know. Okay, Skye's Brittany, Robin's Brittany. So every part existing on the show, male or female, we've read. So it's
I love it.
and mind you, when you read it, you have to read it how you want to do it on the show. So you're not reading it in your voice. No, you're reading it as the character. So I'm not a writer on the show, but Ashley and Robin are also writers as well as stars. But once we get on set, we do it a few times for the network. We get it right. We get it as scripted. And then the director goes, all right, do your thing. And we're like, yeah. And from that, we get to improvise. We get to find moments. And, it's beautiful because I always say the best comedy is passing the ball back and forth. Nobody wants to watch a ball hog who's like, I got a joke, I got a joke, I got a joke. It's like, pass the ball, please. Mm-hmm. So we know when it's time to pass the ball and when it's time for somebody to hold it for a little bit longer. And we allow each other to shine. And so for me, I love watching them go off. I'm like, yeah, do that. Go, girl. I'm watching too. Yeah, we get to improvise a lot, but the scripts are set in stone before we even do anything.
Got it. And what is it like now getting to watch yourself and watch this product come to life?
I don't know if it's shock. I don't know if it's hunger to just do what's next, but I have a really hard time processing it, to be very honest. Even when I see a billboard in the city, I'm like, what is that? Like, that's not my head. Is that my head? But for me, I think, I've worked for this moment for so long and I've fallen so in love with the journey that the win feels really great, but I understand what matters now because when I didn't have the wins, I still loved it because I just was making people laugh. But when I watch the show, I'm blown away by the editing and how it comes together. And between hair, makeup, and wardrobe, they did a fantastic job. I mean, you can put me side to side and you wouldn't believe it was the same person. So I'm still in awe. I really don't know how to process it, to be honest. I can't be like, and I'm thrilled, I'm happy, but I'm like, is this a prank?
It's real, girl. It is all the way real. That's you. All 25 iterations.
Right. All versions. I'm like, oh my gosh.
So, I know there are a lot of people tuning in who are creatives in many ways, but don't know how to get that creative side out, particularly in a time like we're in right now. You talked about it as a really early teenager, finding ways to get your creative side out and doing your Beyonce impressions, which are just, so gold. But what is a little bit of advice you have for those out there who are creatives but don't know how to let that creative side shine during this time?
Wow. You asking all the questions nobody asked. I see you, girl.
I'm sorry.
I'm like, hold on. I had an answer for everything but this. This is great. No, this is a really great question, and it keeps me on my toes. Honestly, as artists, I think we get overwhelmed with the finished product and we want to complete something so bad we never start. And so I encourage people to get it out. Just get it out. Even if it's a poem that you're writing and you're like, oh, I'm just, I'm sitting at the park right now. This morning, I get it out. Write it in your notes. Do a voice note. Even if you're freestyling over a beat, you don't have to release everything you create. And I think that's something we don't discuss. We always want the finished product. Sometimes you just have to get it out. And, for me, I have a lot of different things I do creatively. I paint, I do photography. I have so many things that I put my hands on that it's just getting it out, But I think it's also understanding that if it's real, they're going to feel you. And if you're playing a character, eventually the jig is up, you know? So it's like, just keep it real, keep it authentic, and write the poems that are in your head, or record the voice note, or do the spoken word, or do the monologue in the mirror for yourself. You know, like, it doesn't always have to be celebrated. It could just be getting it out, I think, is the biggest thing.
Look, I'm gonna have to take that piece of advice for myself. I'm like, there's so much going on, and I want to do it, but yeah,
we make excuses when we just can get it out. Sometimes I perform for myself. Sometimes I go, who is a character around me that I haven't studied yet? And I just sit in the mirror and learn how their mouth moves and whatever. And I have a great old time with me, you know? But I think it's like, we want the likes and we want the claps, but like, are you getting it out? You know, because my dad always says the worst thing an artist can do is die with their gifts inside of them. So even if you're sharing with yourself, you're sharing. You know?
Love that. I love that. Oh, getting chills.
I know. I love that.
Yes. No, I think that's inspiration that we all need, even if we're not creatives, right? If you're that person who, you know, is really pursuing some athletic career, right? Go out and do what you can, or
exactly. Just get it out.
Get it out. I love that. I love that. Oh yes, yeah. I knew this conversation with Skye was going to be amazing. I didn't know she would be preaching, but look, here we go. So first of all, I'm so sad that we're like close to wrap up time, but I have to know, what else do you have cooking up? I know that you probably can't share absolutely everything, but are there some other exciting things we can be looking out for or following?
Yes. So I also have a podcast that, right, everybody has a podcast. Well, that's why I didn't want to make it, because everybody has a podcast. And then I was like, get it out. Get it out. And it got cracking. And I said, okay, maybe there was room for one more. So I have a podcast called Unpack and Bounce Back, where I do it with my cousin, who's this deep poet, author. She has adulthood down. I'm like, dang girl, you're good at this. So we speak about what we've been through and have honest, open conversations about rejection, heartbreak, dating, navigating the work world as a woman of color, as a Black woman, our experiences. And it's basically like therapy meets stand-up comedy in one space, and it's beautiful. And so we're doing the second season of that right now. And then I also just last week, I can't say what show, but I'm gonna just say it's one of the reboots coming back, and it's one of them that people are excited for. And I got to come in and play with the cast, and I can't wait for people to see it. It's coming really soon.
Oh, that is awesome. Well, congratulations on season 2 of the podcast. And we'll be looking with really, really, really close eyes, you know, ensuring we have like follow notifications for Skye on our phones as soon as that announcement drops. Super, super cool. Oh my goodness. I think again, it's just, this conversation I knew would be fun, but so many inspiring gems that you have just dropped today. And again, I cannot express how proud and excited I am, proud of you and excited I am for you. This, the journey I know has been long, but as you said, the reward is beautiful, but the journey continues. And so it's good to hear you say that as well. Anything else that you'd like to add for the people, either about, what's going on, how to keep the head up, anything else?
Yeah, I guess I will quickly speak on rejection and pushing forward when dealing with it. I was having a conversation with my dad. I say that all the time. We're like best friends. We hang out all the time. It's really annoying. Awesome. All I do is talk to him. So I'm like, me and my dad were having ice cream, but we were having a conversation, and he said, how many auditions do you think you've been on since, you started acting before you booked this show? And I said, at least 600. And he said, and how many did you book? I said, less than 5. And he said, less than 5. I said, yes. And he goes, is that not crazy to you? And I said, well, yeah, now that I'm saying it, yeah. And he said, how did you not get overwhelmed with rejection? And I was like, I had to sit and think about it. And I was like, you know what? With rejection and not getting to the opportunity you want yet, you have to go day by day, right? Like if I turned around and saw the pile of no's behind me, I'd be like, come on, babe, like clearly it's a no, right? But you have to keep your vision forward. And I really fully understand tunnel vision now, because I'm like, I wasn't adding up the no's, and that's the only reason I kept going. So I think if you keep track of all the no's, instead of thinking about it like, I have more time to practice. I met allies that I didn't know I met. I maybe wasn't prepared and I didn't know. I have more time to get myself in the whatever I want, whether it's eating healthier, whether it's more in shape. I have more time versus I want to be there right there. Because guess what? If you're focused on it for the wrong reasons, the wins are not going to be that sweet. You'll get everything you wanted and be like, why isn't this hitting? Like this don't feel the way it should. And so when I discuss rejection, I always say it's just I had 10 years of practice, not 10 years of no. You know? And because I had that much time to prepare, I'm on my toes now. I had time to learn improv. I had time to get refocused. And sometimes we're lazy and we don't know it. I was very lazy and thought I was hustling. But the next girl wanted it 30 times more than me and was willing to work harder. And so she was winning. So I think, sometimes we have to reevaluate and humble ourselves and go, it doesn't matter that I was creating. I was being lazy with it. I could have been going harder for the last 10 years. Why wasn't I?
Yeah.
So now that I'm in this position, I'm finally, for the first time in my life, I can honestly say I'm going my hardest versus just utilizing what I have. No, I'm going my hardest, but I would just say that to anybody. Yeah, it's practice. You have years of practice if you choose that.
I think all of us need to keep that in mind, no matter what we're doing. It's years of practice for that big win. And I think I should say, you had less than 5. So there were a lot of small wins up in there as well.
Little tiny wins, I'm like, okay, this will cover my bills for a week.
Look, we celebrate all wins for sure.
Yes.
But again, congratulations on everything from the podcast to a Black Lady Sketch Show. And I know all of the amazing things in between and hidden and under are also just going well. And I can't speak highly enough of you. And I'm going to keep gushing now because now I've been preached to on this Thursday. Yes. Look, I'm going to get a shout out after we get off. Craig has a question before we go.
Yes.
Craig says, has your mom influenced you?
Wow, I never get this and I love this. How has my mom influenced me? Well, let me say my mom is one of the most gorgeous people I've ever seen in my life. Stunning. She used to be a model and she decided to be a therapist because the work wasn't fulfilling. My mom has taught me brains will always be more important than beauty, no matter how beautiful you are. But at the end of the day, with her being a therapist, my mom has taught me to be gentle with people, to ask their story before making assumptions. God, it makes me emotional thinking about what my mom has taught me. I never get asked this. And to just be kind. I think it's as simple as that. It costs nothing to be kind, and when I work in these spaces, she's like, be responsible, and be articulate and never shrink, because if you're intelligent, allow them to know that side of you. And so, yeah, my mom has taught me a lot, but she's so gorgeous, but she's like, none of that matters. How do you make people feel? And what are you really contributing? We don't care about if you cute, if there's nothing going on up here. So my mom's like, if you're going to do interviews, know what you're talking about. So I would give that to her. That's a great question. Yes.
Thank you, Skye, for answering that. Thanks for all those tuning in. Normally, I am like way better at tracking the comments during the conversation. So thanks to Dana, who's backstage, making sure we are acknowledging the folks. And again, just thanks to all of you tuning in. Okay,
your voice, by the way,
shout out has said about you saying your dad was allegedly your dad. She goes, allegedly? Stop.
Allegedly. Misha, I have to tell you, your voice is one of my favorite voices I've ever heard. There is such a, you sound like whiskey. Like you sound like this smooth, it's like an actor's like dream voice. Like I am obsessed and I'm probably going to Google everything to just study your voice because, oh my God, it's like drinking a liquor that doesn't burn you, but you still get the kick. Oh God, it's nice.
Thank you, Skye. I will receive that all the way.
It is so sensual. It's God, it's good. Oh,
Thank
anyway.
you. Thank you very much. Look, I can only thank my parents, I guess, and all them years of training.
It's good. You're good. You're good and you're quick on your toes. And I love that. You're really good at what you do.
Thank you, y'all. I have to say it means a lot coming from Skye because I just look up to her so much. Have been a fan for quite some time, and so getting to have this conversation, of course, is quite a treat. But also just to hear from someone who has, I really again have watched for over a decade in the grind and doing hustling super hard, and not only do you bring so many people joy, but it looks like you're having so much fun when you're doing it, and I think that's just it's just incredibly important. It truly is. It's one of those things where it's like I can't wait to see her on my television and on the big screen, etc., because she enjoys bringing joy to others. So of course the beauty and the amazing talent, obviously sets you apart, but it's also that the passion behind the work is so clearly there. And so I'm just so excited for you again. I thank you so much for taking this time out in your marathon of interviews today.
I did it. We done.
It's only 11 o'clock your time. That's crazy.
I know. I've been up since 4:45 and I just started going. You're a Virgo, right?
I am. Wait, what's your sign, Skye?
I'm a Virgo too, girl. That's why I be getting a lot.
I think I knew that. So we have like a very close mutual friend. We gotta shout him out, Jermaine Crawford, also an amazing artist in all ways, and the great actor, great singer, great dancer, great writer, producer, all that jazz. So shout out Jermaine. But Jermaine's always like, yeah, you're such a Virgo. You're such a
like
Virgo.
Virgo. Virgo is clear what you do and how you handle yourself. It's
well, thank you, girl. Virgo, see Virgo. All my people in my life are Virgos, and we always go Virgo mentality. So that's what it is. That's what it is. Skye, thank you so much for taking this time out today.
Thank you
so appreciate it. So appreciate it. Congratulations again. We're gonna link up soon. I'm gonna get out on the West Coast when all this wildness is over.
So we're getting close. We're getting close to the finish line. I'm staying optimistic.
Yes. No, I see it. I feel it. I'm fully vaxxed. So as soon as the opportunity comes, I'm gonna be out there for sure.
I look forward to it, Misha. Thank you so much.
I look forward to seeing you in person, Skye, and congratulations again. Thanks to all of those tuning in to Afro Live. We love you so much. Again, if you haven't shared it, go ahead and share this stream. It'll be there forever, right? So tell your people to tune in. Check out A Black Lady Sketch Show and all things that Skye is doing. And y'all know what I say, Black Lives Matter, and wash those hands. Be safe.